G'day, my name's Michael Pope and I'm the host of Connect with Rexel. This is a once-a-month online opportunity for Rexel to connect with you, its customers, and for all of you to connect with our fantastic suppliers. In this presentation, Commercial Manager Ian Crossan from Clipsal brings us up to speed on the very latest Pro Series and also outlines opportunities that he sees lie ahead for you, the customers of Clipsal and Rexel.
So, g'day everyone. Hopefully you can see the product okay. This is a Clipsal Pro double PowerPoint. If we just look at the back, and for all the Sparkies out there, you'll see that the PowerPoint has inline terminals to make for an easier connection and a faster connection. It's also got a square and a Phillips drive for your screw terminal. If we look at where your conductors go in, we've got a floating wrapper terminal, so it's the same as termination style as for a circuit breaker. You can also comfortably get up to 4 2.5mm conductors into the terminal. You might notice the screw, hopefully you can see it there. It's got a little O-ring on there, but straight out of the box, all of the Clipsal Pro and the Iconic come with the screws pre-mounted and a little O-ring so they can't fall out. So it'll save you a heap of time on the job, and particularly if you're doing projects, you don't have to worry about digging the screws out of the grid or taking plastic bags and opening them up. I'll just turn over to the front of the product. All Clipsal Pro is safety shuttered as standard. You've got clips there to secure your screw mountings for extra safety and security. The plate clips on simply, and hopefully you can see there we've got the ID windows in either side, and on that side it's labelled with the Dymo labeler. Okay, and it's also impact resistant. But what I'll do is I'll go through the presentation in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to do a recap on Iconic and a little bit of a market outlook as well in my presentation today. So Clipsal Iconic, as most of you would be aware of, is a residential dedicated design, whereas the Clipsal Pro Series is a commercial dedicated design with features such as circuit identification, secured skin, and impact resistance. It's one platform across both ranges. They both are suitable for the 40 series mechanism, and the installation features are the same. And as all the Sparkies out there know, time is money, and the Clipsal Iconic and Clipsal Pro both have the locking bar, the inline floating wrapper terminal, pre-fitted screws and square drive. They've also got a heap of other features to save you time and money that I'll go through in a little bit of time, in a little while. Unique to the Clipsal Iconic is the decorative skins. So there's a vast array of colours in the Iconic skin options, or you can upgrade to the Clipsal Iconic style or Clipsal Essence skins. There's also other skins for different functions that you can update as well and upgrade for your customer. Whereas the Clipsal Pro, as I mentioned, it's a commercial platform and it's all about functionality. So all of the features and benefits of Clipsal Pro is to suit various different applications within the non-residential market. So from a residential outlook, and just following on from the previous presenter, I just wanted to do an update on the market outlook and some of the intel that we've got. The residential construction market, I'm talking new homes here and new apartments, is worth over $100 billion. 90% of residential builders fall into the small business category, and there's a predicted decline of about -20% in new commencements. That's an updated estimate based on COVID, but there was a little bit of a decline predicted anyway in Australia for the new residential market. 71% of housing activity is detached dwellings, and there's 46,000 residential builders registered within Australia. There's 112,000 detached houses that have commenced, which is a 7% year-on-year decline. At the start of the year, the decline was more about 4% in the detached housing space. Schneider Electric, through our Clipsal brands, have agreements with over 340 medium to large builders around the country and hundreds of electrical contractors that specialise in the new residential market space. Speaking to our customers, some of the headwinds they're hearing, and I'm talking more so post-COVID, is around migration, consumer confidence, particularly in the apartment market, under and unemployment. In the apartment market, there's some particular headwinds around migration and overseas investment. There's up to 30 or 40% of the consumption in that area is down to those two market segments, and that's driving that -25% outlook within the unit market. But there's good news on the horizon. The recent stimulus announced by the government and the Home Builder Scheme will support 140,000 direct construction jobs and 1 million throughout the sector, focusing on major renovations and new owner occupiers. So the sentiment is the stimulus in the renovation market should largely offset the new building decline, with an expected rebound with new residential, the detached dwellings in the new year. But the apartment market will probably stay pretty flat or in decline for a couple of years to come. The cash grant is certainly driving confidence, and speaking to some builders and electricians in that major renovation space, there's certainly a lot of interest. There's also a lot of interest due to the home isolation that we're all in lockdown, a lot of people had time to spend at home and noticed a lot of the things around the house that they'd like to improve and update. So the market outlook, particularly for renovations, but just minor renovations or upgrades, is looking very buoyant over the next 6 months. So if you're a small to medium electrician doing renovations, the market's looking pretty good over the next 6 months to hopefully offset the decline in new housing. Now, what does that mean from an opportunities perspective? And I'll link some of this to Iconic where I can. So we're seeing 3 areas that you can pivot your business, if you're not already, to try and generate some demand. One is how you connect with your customers, and today is a great example of connecting via digital and virtual platforms. We have our website, clipsal.com. So we've updated the trade section of clipsal.com to provide tools for you, the Sparky, to leverage everything that's on the website, and also information, tutorials. There's plenty there if you haven't had a look. We've also got a consumer section on clipsal.com as well. There we're trying to target the renovator market. We've got selector tools, checklists, tutorials. We've got a consumer support and live chat function, and consumers can also book consultations via the website. We've got a consumer connector. That's where we can connect you, the electrician, and our wholesale partners such as Rexel to consumers that want to have products installed or they want to go and view products. We use social media and we leverage brand ambassadors, videos and advertising platforms. We're launching some campaigns that are purely digital led this year. So we're doing a safety, a smart home and an energy efficiency campaign. We've launched the safety campaign, and the way in which we're doing that is to use the digital media platforms that I've just mentioned. So we're reaching out to consumers and we're talking to them specifically around electrical and the options that are available from a safety and security perspective within their home. And there's a consumer checklist to walk them through that. So for the consumer, it's all about what their needs are from an electrical perspective and a safety perspective. We're then reaching out to our electrician partners largely via digital media, and we're talking more application based on the safety campaign. So an example of that is safety within a switchboard. Not only RCBOs, but devices like an arc fault detection device where you can mitigate the risk of fire. And we've also got an electrician checklist to help you out with that. And then our fantastic partners such as Rexel are putting those assets up on their website and via social media. So together we're all trying to create some additional demand, some additional work for you, the Sparky, through Rexel and Clipsal Schneider brands. Another area to create demand is to grow the electrical mix. And that can even be taking, I guess, other category share off of some of our other competing categories, such as plumbing, for example. So if you look at the pie chart there, that just shows a typical mix of products that go into a new residential install, a small 3-4 bedroom home. So if we look at the mix opportunities from an Iconic perspective, with Iconic, that's all about skinnability. So there's the option with your switches and sockets to upgrade your cover plates. You can go to the essence or the style. You've also got the ability to add pictograms, LED modules, push button modules, or you can convert a double power point to a night walk and a sensor light just by removing the skin. Within the safety and security market category, there's 10% of the mix there. There's also options with Iconic there as well. So you can also add the smart mechs and you can add timers and sensors as well. But the biggest opportunity is probably going to be home automation. So there's only 5% of the mix is at the moment home automation, and that's largely going to be driven by voice activation. With Clipsal and with the Iconic range, we'll have a connected socket that will be released next month. At the moment, you can also upgrade to the 40 series modules. They've got inbuilt Bluetooth, and they've also got Wi-Fi enablement built into the mechanism. With the Bluetooth, you can actually do up to 4-way dimming and switching. That's right now. You can do time clock functionality, time scheduling, sunset mode, and you can also get PIRs. They're all built within the smart mechanism, and that's available now. We'll be releasing our gateway later this year, and when we release the gateway, that will allow the smart mech to talk to the devices via Wi-Fi, hook up to voice activation, and give you the Sparky the Clipsal Iconic platform, and then the ability to whether it be adding skins or full home automation, Iconic will be able to give you all those options. The other opportunity is around partnership and working with the right partners. So if you're on this call as a Sparky, you're up to a good start working with Rexel and hopefully supporting Clipsal. Our main partner program is Club Clipsal, where we offer training and development, rewards, corporate offers and sales tools. And Clipsal is a trade-only brand investing to innovate and grow the electrical market. We've just updated our ClipSpec software program. So with ClipSpec, we work with 350 builders and over 300 electricians working in that new build residential space to upgrade and update the electrical offer for consumers. 80% of our builders now specify Iconic as their standard range. We do about 4,000 electrical consults per quarter, ourselves internally, builders and electricians. The average install goes from about $8,000 for a typical 3-4 bedder house to $15,000. So customers are willing to invest in their electrical installation. They just want the information and know what's available. So just a snapshot overview. So the features of Clipsal Pro is the protected and permanent identification. So there's two sides of the product on the GPO and at the top and bottom of the switch for your labeling. Robust, it's beveled edges for shock reduction. The secured skin, it cannot be removed by hand. It's dymo and traffolite labeling compatible, and it's retrofittable. It fits all standard mounting brackets. And there's a whole heap of accessories for all installations. Just touching on the opportunities from a commercial perspective. At the start of the year, the commercial market was predicted to be quite buoyant, offsetting some of the downturn in the residential market. And certainly with COVID, there's actually additional investment in the commercial sector. That's made up of major infrastructure projects at both state and federal level. There's been a recent announcement of fast tracking of 15 major projects worth $72 billion. That's across both the public and the private sector. In the private sector, a lot of that's about cutting the red tape to get the investment going. There's $1.5 billion for small priority projects. There's been manufacturing think tanks formed, and a lot of that's based on what's been great for Australia being an island continent is we've been able to close our borders to restrict COVID, but it's really highlighted weaknesses we've got with our supply chain and reliance on global supply chains and our lack of manufacturing here in Australia as well. And that's led to a focus on regional investment from a manufacturing perspective, but also the double whammy of the bushfires and COVID in regional investment. Some areas of major investment include mining, agriculture, health, education, and social housing. I've put maintenance and repair there. So whilst Clipsal Pro is certainly focused on projects and the greenfields new construction, maintenance and repair is a large part of a lot of electrical companies' businesses. And the beauty about Clipsal Pro is regardless of what commercial application you're going to, Clipsal Pro can tick every box or every requirement that application needs and more, and your customers will love it and you'll love installing it because it's got every feature and benefit to make the job quick and easy. If we just have a look here, these are some of the segments that we've either got specifications, have worked on specifications, or we're currently doing projects in. So education is probably the most buoyant sector at the moment. We're quoting 20 schools just in New South Wales right now, and that's across all sectors of education. We're working with Coles at the moment to standardise Clipsal Pro for all new buildings, some refurbishment with Bunnings and Kmart, student accommodation and social housing. As I mentioned, the product's impact resistant and you can't remove by hand. Stadiums, airports, transportation, correctional facilities, hotels. Consultants such as Voss and JHA have specified Clipsal Pro as their standard offer for all education projects, as have Urbis, and they've also standardised Clipsal Pro for all of their commercial projects. So that's their standard specification moving forward. And we've also won a fairly large project over in Perth, the Perth hub, which is Clipsal Pro for all commercial and common areas, and Clipsal Iconic for the residential apartments. And Shannon Wong over in WA has told me he's going to win that project. So good luck with that, Shannon. Now, some of the features from Clipsal Pro that really stand it out from the rest that our competitors can't offer is the circuit identification. So it's practical and easy to install from a Sparky's point of view. It is dymo and traffolite label compatible. There's a large area to identify clearly the circuit. It's a dedicated area to stick the label. It's easiness of label alignment, and it's consistent across the GPO and switches. So it makes for a really professional finish for yourself, and also your client will love it as well. The labelling's at the top and bottom of the switches. It's reliable. There's a window to protect the label, and it's permanent identification. It's safer. The identification is part of the grid and it can't be swapped with the skin. Once it's clipped on, it's secured. You cannot remove it by hand. It's easy to remove with a screwdriver inserted, or if the product's, for example, installed on a skirting duct, there is a tool you can use to clip the cover plate off. And it's robust. It has an impact resistance 2 times more resistant than equivalent competitor ranges. From an installation point of view, you'll notice there that all the screw terminals on the switches are also in line to make it much easier and faster to install. It's got the locking bar. You can change the mechanisms from a vertical to a horizontal orientation simply. It's also, the locking bar avoids mech pushbacks. So some applications like schools where you used to have to put a screw in behind the mech, you don't have to worry about that. Pre-mounted screws, no digging screws out of the grid or plastic bags. Inline floating wrapper terminal, which is the best termination for your conductor. There's screw covers, 40 series compatible, secured skin with impact resistance. And just some of the accessories that we've got for Clipsal Pro. So we've got a full range of sockets and switches, including commercial ID colors. Got data, audio and video connectors, including bezels for most of the major data vendors that operate in the commercial sector. And a full range of 40 series mechanisms. So we've got connected dimmers and switches, as I mentioned, up to 4-way dimming and switching, USB, time clocks, 24-hour and 7-day time clock scheduling, PIR modules, and for those of you that do home automation, I know there's a few on the call, we've also got C-bus modules in the 40 series mechanism as well. We've got neon indicator mechs also with power available. We've got an LED indicator GPO. We've got LED indicators for your rockers. And we've also got a rocker with a locking feature that locks in the off position. We've got a pneumatic timer, so the old 319 is available in Clipsal Pro. That also has an impact resistance rating, so perfect for social housing and public areas. We've got a connected socket, so you've got the Wiser wrap there, so you can program that socket with 7-day or 24-hour scheduling. We've also got a heavy-duty housing there, so if you need an extra heavy-duty housing in a common area that's lockable, and it also can take an impact resistance, that's available as well. That brings me to the end of the presentation. I'd just like to thank the Rexel team for the opportunity to present. So if you can support your Rexel, Turks, Ideal and Lear and Smith branches, Rexel are a fantastic partner of Clipsal and Schneider Electric. And from myself, thanks to all the electricians and sparkies out there. I know it's been a tough year, but we're pretty hopeful of a good second half to the year. So thanks for your support and big thank you to Rexel.